The Mongol invasion of eastern Anatolia in 1243 led to the collapse of the Seljuk Turks and the subsequent rise of the Ottoman Turks. The Ottomans migrated into Anatolia to fill the vacuum left by the Seljuks, and named after their leader Osman Bey, the Ottomans established an empire centered around Anatolia. By the late 14th century, much of the Balkans were added to the Ottoman Empire. In 1453, the Ottomans completed their conquest of the city of Constantinople. The Christian church of Hagia Sophia was converted into an elaborate mosque, palaces were constructed in the city, and the defense system of Constantinople was repaired. After the conquest of Constantinople, the Ottomans united most of the Arab world by adding Syria, Egypt, and the rest of North Africa to their empire. The Ottoman Empire was focused on warfare. Beginning in the middle of the 15th century, its armies were largely composed of soldiers called janissaries. And janissaries were Christian boys who were captured and enslaved. Janissaries could also be young boys of families in conquered areas who were required to become soldiers. Many families turned over their children to the Ottomans in the hope that the education given to them would lead to a prominent position in the Ottoman Empire. The selection process for janissaries was called devshirme, and it placed the boys with Turkish families to learn the language and the teachings of Islam. Women in Ottoman society maintained a subordinate role to their fathers and husbands. Although some women in lower classes became involved in trade and small business, Ottoman women as a whole were given very little opportunity to acquire an education or participate in politics. Instead, Ottoman women, especially those in elite classes, were restricted by the wearing of the veil, and in some cases even seclusion within the harem. Now, when we talk about the decline of the Ottomans, which is something that we will talk about over the next 2 units, actually, and you need to know it started in the 15th century. They became a major naval power until they suffered a decisive defeat by a combined Venetian and Spanish fleet at the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. And as late as 1688, they were still trying to conquer the Australian capital of the Habsburg dynasty, which was Vienna. But these were 2 devastating sieges. When they first tried to do it in 1529 and again in 1688, and they were devastating. By the late 17th century, the vast Ottoman Empire was so difficult to administer that it fell into a gradual decline. Opportunities to add new territories ran out because of the strengthening military power of other Muslim and of Christians, and the Ottomans lost their ability to maintain their large army and bureaucracy. Taxes charged to the lower classes were raised as Ottoman rulers became more and more corrupt. The inflationary trend that affected Europe as a result of the influx of gold and silver in Spain also produced inflation within the Ottoman territories. The Ottomans fell behind in warfare technology because of their reliance on huge weaponry intended for siege tactics, and ignoring the value of Western technological innovations, the Ottomans disregarded the growing power of Western Europe, which was a policy that hastened its decline.